beginning of October 1815, about an hour before sunset, a man travelling on foot entered the town of Digne. The few people who happened to be at their windows or doorways observed him with a vague misgiving. It would have been hard to find a traveller of a more disreputable aspect. He was a man of medium height, broad-shouldered and robust, who might have been in his late 40s. A cap with a low-leathered peak half hid his face. He wore threadbare trousers and a tattered grey jacket. On his back was a new and bulging soldier's knapsack, and he carried a very large knotted stick. He was an ugly and terrifying spectacle. He said in a harsh voice, "Look, my name is Jean Valjean. I'm a convict on parole. I've done 19 years in prison. They let me out 4 days ago, and I'm on my way to Pontarlier." Exhausted and with no further hope, the outcast stretched himself on a stone bench by a doorway in the square. An elderly lady who came out of the cathedral at this moment saw him lying there and asked, "What are you doing?" He answered roughly and angrily, "My good woman, you can see what I'm doing. I'm sleeping here." "On this bench?" she asked. "I've slept for 19 years on a wooden mattress," the man said. "Now it's stone." "Why don't you go to an inn?" "Because I haven't any money." "Have you tried everything? You can't possibly spend the night here. You must be cold and hungry. Someone would surely take you in out of charity." "I've knocked at every door." The lady touched his arm and pointed across the square to a small house beside the bishop's palace. "Have you knocked at that one?" "No." "Then do." That evening, the Bishop of Digne, after returning from his customary walk through the town, was working late when there was a heavy knock on the door. "Come in," said the bishop. The door was flung widely open, as though in response to a vigorous and determined thrust. A man entered. "Sit down and warm yourself, monsieur. Supper will very soon be ready, and a bed can be made up while you're having a meal." At sunrise that morning, the bishop was coming in from his garden. His housekeeper came running out to him in great agitation. Monseigneur, do you know where the silver basket is?" "Yes," said the bishop. "Oh, thank the Lord. I couldn't think what had happened to it." He handed it to her, saying, "Here you are." "But it's empty," she exclaimed. "Where's the silver?" "Heavens, say that it's been stolen. That man who came last night, the monster, he's gone off with our silver." At that moment, a knock sounded on the door. The bishop called, "Come in." The door opened to disclose a dramatic group. 3 men were holding a 4th by the arms and neck. The 3 were gendarmes. The 4th was Jean Valjean. A sergeant of gendarmes entered the room and saluted. "Monseigneur," he began. But the bishop interrupted him. "So here you are," he cried to Valjean. "I'm delighted to see you. Had you forgotten that I gave you the candlesticks as well? They're silver, like the rest, and worth a good 200 francs. Did you forget to take them?" Jean Valjean's eyes widened. He was staring at the old man with an expression no words can convey. "Monseigneur," said the sergeant, "do I understand that this man was telling the truth? When we saw him, he seemed to be on the run. We thought we had better make sure. We found this silver in his knapsack, and—" "And he told you," said the bishop, smiling, "that it had been given to him by an old priest with whom he stopped the night. I can see how it was." Valjean stayed motionless, as though he were on the verge of collapse. The bishop came up to him and said in a low voice, "Do not forget, do not ever forget that you have promised me to use the money to make yourself an honest man." Valjean, who did not recall having made any promise, was silent. The bishop concluded with solemn emphasis, "Jean Valjean, my brother. You no longer belong to what is evil, but to what is good. I have bought your soul to save it from black thoughts and from the spirit of perdition, and I give it to God.
Do you hear the people singing the song of angry men?
It is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of a drum, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes.
À la volonté du peuple et à la santé du progrès.
Das ist die Symphonie von Menschen, die nicht länger Sklaven sind.
あなたに熱い命が始まる。明日が来た時そうさすが。
Als möllig och tjockar, ki als erdungshårt som geht. Ifrån vår barrikad så kan man se ett framtidsland. Så kom hit och slåss, du ska kämpa med oss om du kan.
Wy też słuch to śpiewa lud, co nie chce żyć w niewoli znów.
Van al die mensen die verdommen om nog langer slaaf te zijn.
When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes.
Wenn du kämpfst mit ganzer Kraft, hat bald ein Ende alle Not.
Some will fall and some will leave. Will you stand up and take your chance? The blood of the mothers will water the melons of France.
Kan du höra folkesång, det är en sång från argument. Hämta din skit och svane vid i dust, i björk, i sväveri. Och i dumper Thomas Bus, vannars är stärken hjärteslag. Jag ska ditt bild och liv gå i den nya natt. Will you join in our crusade? Who will be strong and stand with me? Han ligger sänker förra sig.